You've probably seen already that Binance has sold pretty much 99% of their crypto through January and February. So they now have 94% less Bitcoin than last month, 99% less ETH and SOL than the month prior. So this has left a sour taste in investors, and in the short term, we've seen a rejection, although earlier in the day, we had seen a very nice pump. In fact, SUI was up almost 12%. And as soon as that FUD came out, we can see it rejected the 20 EMA. Hopefully, tuned into my Bitcoin update. We'll do some brief analysis. It had broken out of this falling wedge. I made you all aware of these falling wedges on Friday. Now, it actually failed a breakout on Friday, and this is something that I envisioned. We were actually down here when I made the video, and I said we could pump to 100k today. It did, and still get rejected and fall back down to here. And flatline as the stock market shut, low liquidity weekends, and then on Monday we saw the breakout. So the following day, being Tuesday today, it should continue higher. In fact, it did until that FUD news came out. But at the very first hurdle, we saw Bitcoin and the rest of the market, including SUI, start retracing their gains from earlier today. So from being up 12% to down 8% from that high. This is not a good signal. In my past video, I placed this Fibonacci showing you all these key levels of resistance that could make SUI get rejected here. So a pump up is not good enough because it should be lower than the previous highs and roll over. And literally, we tapped into resistance and are seeing that roll over. What does SUI need to do to get out of this? Okay, so it's very important bouncing off of this low, creating that new local lower high that SUI maintains the 200 EMA. Let's go actually between the 0.5 and the 6.5. It includes the 200 EMA. So we've got some confluence in this area. So this level between $2.85 to $3.05 is a key level of support, stopping SUI from heading down to $2.40. Yes, that is true. SUI could be heading down from the high of earlier today, $3.60, down to $2.40. If it doesn't hold this key green support right now. It's actually all on Bitcoin, as it's now currently attempting to lose the key level of support and tap into 93.5k. If it so actually confirms the loss of support and hits that target, then SUI will attempt to lose the 200 EMA. This could start a much larger macro correction. However, as this dip, we were setting new higher highs, new all-time highs, and are coming down into the 200 EMA. It just means that the market was going up too quick. It needs to reset. And you can see with the move down, resetting the market means maintaining the 200 EMA after dumping into it. So if we want to continue up through the next following weeks and months, then this needs to be the bottom. $2.40 needs to be the bottom, and this must be on the green box, the higher low. If we lose this green box, then it's hunting that low. And of course, by being under the green box and the 200 EMA, it's suggesting we're now in a macro downtrend. And in fact, it shouldn't just go and fill in the wick. It should go ahead and lose it and start a longer term downtrend. And any pump up will just tap into the 200 EMA's resistance to head lower. And we really don't want that to develop. So how do we avoid that? It's by pulling back down. We could bounce from here if Bitcoin reverses. If it comes down a little bit lower into this zone, it must reverse and start to break through these EMAs, which are actually forming bearish crosses. So further signs, these are going to be upcoming resistances. Now, this is yet to actually form a bearish cross. That's the last one. So if that's actually bearish crossing, it's another telltale sign that it wants to lose the low that we're currently maintaining, which is giving us that opportunity to break through the resistances in the first place. So we really can't lose this $2.80, $3.05 level. It needs to maintain in order to break through all key moving averages, eventually flipping them into bullish crosses again. So I need to see $4.05 reclaimed. I have made you all aware of these levels in the past updates, but I feel like I have to, keep doing so. As it develops, things do change. As you saw with this falling wedge, which I mentioned over on the weekend, on Friday, that we should see a breakout. We got that breakout. As soon as it did, we got that FUD, Binance selling over the past month. and that's left a sour taste. People are short-term selling, and this, of course, makes the chart look bad, and it could develop even worse, even though they've already sold. So it's not like they're going to carry on selling. They've done it. So it's just left a sour taste in short-term thinkers, and then of course it's going to make the market sell. People follow and carry on the selling, and it's just going to make the charts look worse, which then leads more people to selling. And that's the unfortunate thing. We really need to see whales investing before the loss of $2.84. Need to reverse it and push it through all of these until that moment, just as I have been fearing, while underneath $4, especially this new set of fibs placed in the last video, $3.36 to $3.78. You know, this whole is a massive wall. It's trying to send you lower. We're seeing already the very first touch of resistance on the 20 EMA, which is also the 618 and 65 at 350, so psychological level also. It gets rejected immediately. Let's see if it has enough strength to maintain the lows and break through this time. But again, we could still attack the lows after a rejection from there. So a long way ahead. There's going to be a lot of traps, even though this should be the bottom, macro bottom, where we eventually, no matter what happens eventually, maintaining this 200 EMA, we should see a new higher high, new all-time high, where with these targets up here in the future, $6 to $8, almost $9. That's the signal. This is saying this is going to be the best DCA for that. But can it develop and roll over and lose the trend? Absolutely. And this is my fears with all of these resistances in the way, while Bitcoin is also not strong and attempting to lose key support after breaking out of a bullish pattern. Guys, we don't want to see bullish patterns failing and breaking to the downside. These are characteristics of the bear market. And I'm not saying that it is right now. It is not, since Bitcoin is higher lowing above the range low. It's still above. Sui's still holding the 200 EMA. It's still in a macro uptrend. But can it develop into a deeper correction? Absolutely. But I do not want it to do so, of course. That's it from me today. If you want to keep up with more updates, more exclusive content on other cryptos, check out the Discord community. Links down below. I also do live streams in there, which I will do one today, analyzing the market, teaching you how to use the charts just like me. Use the links down below and I'll see you over there. Otherwise, keep up to date over here. Turn on the notification bell and follow me over on Twitter. Cheers, everyone.